How you doing?
Oh, pretty good. What do we got here?
I got some president's pins.
Hey, Pops.
What?
You probably voted for most of these guys.
Yeah, right. Believe it or not, Ike was a good president.
He was president when you were in the Navy, right?
No.
Yes.
58?
Yes.
Yeah, he was. That's right.
I decided to come to the pawn shop today to try and sell my president's pins. I think the pins are collectible because they are of age. There's older presidents on them. Most of them are older than I am, but just like anybody else, need a little extra cash, and I'm hoping they're worth my time and their time.
So where'd you get this?
I got these doing a foreclosure clean out. I was getting ready to throw a box, and all of a sudden, like, whoa, this is something to keep.
Okay, cool. Do you know much about them?
No, I know nothing about them, other than there are people who ran for presidents.
Okay.
Some of them look nice.
I know this one could be worth money. Anything Teddy Roosevelt would be worth money. And this one could be worth money. I believe this one right here is from the Bull Moose Party. Do you know what the Bull Moose Party was?
Have not a clue.
Okay. Teddy Roosevelt served 2 terms, and I think it was 1912, he decided he wanted to be president again. Roosevelt was running for a 3rd term. He was unable to secure the Republican nomination, so he created his own party, who was nicknamed the Bull Moose Party. Roosevelt was a really long-winded guy, and he had a speech that was like 60 or 70 pages long, folded it in half in his breast pocket. Well, on his way to take the speech, some guy shot him, and he shot him in the speech. And the bullet was actually in his chest, but he insisted on doing the speech anyway. And up on stage, he says, no one can kill this bull moose. Okay, and that's the way it became the Bull Moose Party. As Roosevelt was giving the speech, he was actually bleeding through his shirt because the bullet penetrated over 70 pages, folded in half in his pocket. Shortly after his speech, he collapsed and they brought him to the hospital. But just think what would have happened if he didn't have that speech in his pocket. Some of these older ones look a little too good to be true. You have one that I know is not real. They didn't print on metal like that back then. But then again, I'm not an expert on these things. I know a guy who will know all about these things. So if you can come back later today, I'll get him in here and...
We'll go from there.
Okay.
Thank you.
This seems like a really great collection, but I am no way an expert on antique political buttons. And with a collection this extensive, I really need to bring in someone who knows what they're talking about. So I'm calling in my buddy Dana to take a look.
Rick, how the heck are you?
Hey,
I'm pretty good.
What's going
Hi,
on?
how are you?
All right, this is what I called you on.
Political buttons. Rick, what are your concerns on this group?
Some of these really old ones from the 1800s just didn't look real. I mean, I didn't think we had the technology to print them back then. And I believe this one right here is from the Bull Moose Party, which, if is real, is worth money.
I'm president of Early American History Auctions. I love finding treasures from our past and the connection it has to our American heritage. Well, I'll tell you what, this is quite an assortment from about the 1860s to almost current day. If they're authentic, there's some very, very valuable items here. I could tell you that that button alone could be worth a couple $100. Political pins could be worth many thousands of dollars, depending upon their condition. There are some very, very serious collectors. Do you mind if I were to take these off here at all?
No, go ahead.
Okay, we'll start with this one here in the corner. You could tell by a little word that I see printed on here on the back an awful lot about this piece. And I think it may have some really important information about this entire group that we have here. Would you care to read that word?
You can't read that.
Well, it is small print.
It says reproduction on it. Come on, look.
Oh, okay. Most reproductions I see don't have the word reproduction written right on them. I guess next time I'll take a better look.
In 1968, the Kleenex Corporation gave out a set of reproduction political pins. And this is an original set of those pins.
Well, is there any value here?
I wish I could tell you that they were worth something. But for professional dealers, for collectors who are serious, this would be something that they would tend to want to throw away, because in the collecting world, they're dangerous because they add to a lot of confusion.
Okay. I can't believe I didn't turn the buttons over. I mean, I was just afraid of devaluing the damn things. But I guess it doesn't matter now. I just feel really bad for having Dana drive all the way down here.
Sorry to say that I can't put a real value of much of anything on this set.
Thanks, Dana. I appreciate it.
Sorry for the Sorry for the news.
I'm sure at the time Kleenex thought this was a great marketing idea to replicate these buttons. But Dana said these are worthless, and when Dana tells me they're worthless, I believe him. These buttons are cool, but I just can't make an offer on them. And well, thanks for bringing them in, man. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Hey,
Okay.
we
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. I was kind of disappointed that they weren't worth nothing, but then, on the other hand, maybe down the road later on, they can be worth something. So I'll just save them for my grandson to take to school for Share Day.